नमस्ते, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. Today, I, JVN Manisha Singh, teaching you biological hazards, which is a part of food safety and quality control. Now, let's start the topic. What is biological hazards? Biological hazards are the organisms or the substances produced by the organisms that pose a threat to human health. They are a major concern in food processing because they cause most foodborne illness outbreaks. Then, what is the classification of biological hazards? Then, biohazardous agents are classified for transportation by UN number in four categories. Category A is UN 2814, that is infectious substance affecting humans. An infectious substance in a form capable of causing permanent disability or life-threatening or fatal disease in otherwise healthy humans or animals when exposure to it occurs. Category A, UN 2900, infectious substance affecting animals only. An infectious substance that is not in a form generally capable of causing permanent disability or life-threatening or fatal disease in otherwise healthy humans and animals when exposure to themselves occurs. Category B, UN 3373, biological substance transported for diagnostic or investigative purposes. Then regulated medical waste, UN 3291, waste or reusable material derived from medical treatment of an animal or human or from biomedical research, which includes the production and testing. Then levels of biological hazards. The United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention CDC categorizes various diseases in levels of biohazard. Level 1 being minimum risk and level 4 being extreme risk. Laboratories and other facilities are categorized by BSL, that is biosafety level 1 to 4, or P1 through P4 for short pathogen or protection level. Then biohazard level 1, that is having minimum risk. Then bacteria and viruses including Bacillus subtilis, canine hepatitis, Escherichia coli and varicella, that is chickenpox, as well as some cell cultures and non-infectious bacteria. At this level, precautions against the biohazardous materials in question are minimal, most likely involving gloves and some sort of facial protection. Then biohazard level 2, bacteria and viruses that cause only mild diseases to humans or are difficult to contract via aerosol in a lab setting, such as hepatitis A, B, and C, some influenza A strains, Lyme disease, salmonella, mumps, measles, scrapie, dengue fever, and HIV. Routine diagnostic work with clinical specimens can be done safely at biosafety level 2 using biosafety level 2 practices and procedures. Research work including co-cultivation, virus replication studies, or manipulation involving concentrated virus can be done in BSL-2 P2 facility using BSL-3 practices and procedures. Then biohazard level 3, bacteria and viruses that can cause severe to fatal disease in humans, but for which vaccines or other treatment exist, such as anthrax, West Nile virus, Venezuelan, equine encephalitis, SARS virus, MERS coronavirus, hantavirus, tuberculosis, typhus, Rift Valley fever, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, yellow fever, and malaria. Then biohazards level 4, it is an extreme risk and viruses that cause severe to fatal diseases in humans and for which vaccines or other treatments are not available, such as Bolivian hemorrhagic fever, Marburg virus, Ebola virus, Lassa fever virus, Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever, and other hemorrhagic diseases. Variola virus, that is the smallpox, is an agent that is worked with the at BSL-4 despite the existence of a vaccine as it has been eradicated. When dealing with biological hazards at this level, the use of positive pressure personal suit with a segregated air supply is mandatory. The entrance and exit of a level 4 biolab will contain multiple showers, a vacuum room, a ultraviolet light room, autonomous detection system, and other safety precautions designed to destroy all traces of the biohazard. Multiple airlocks, are employed and are electronically secured to prevent doors from both opening at the same time. All air and water service going to and coming from biosafety level 4 P4 lab will undergo similar decontamination procedures to eliminate the possibility of an accidental release. Currently, there are no bacteria classified at this level. Okay. Then coronavirus is also the part of biohazard level 4. Then risk. These organisms can affect human health, including infection, intoxication, and even death. Infection occurs when organisms invade the host and multiply in the body. Intoxications occurs when bacteria produce toxins that affect the body. And infection can be prevented by properly processing and handling food products because pathogens are easily destroyed by heat. However, some bacteria that produce spores can survive cooking temperatures. For example, steam cooking significantly reduces non-spore forming foodborne pathogens but only inactivate spores. For examples of spore forming bacteria include Bacillus cereus, Clostridium botulinum, and Clostridium perfringens. Toxins are produced when toxin producing bacteria are present in high numbers. Bacteria must first grow in the food before producing toxins. These toxins are very difficult to eliminate. They survive normal cooking temperatures and even temperatures higher than 80 degrees Celsius or 176 degrees Fahrenheit. The risk of intoxication is prevented by controlling the growth of toxin producing bacteria. These include Clostridium botulinum, Bacillus cereus, and Staphylococcus aureus. Major biological hazards are bacteria, for example, Salmonella species, Enterohemorrhagic Escherichia coli, Campylobacter jejuni, Yersinia enterocolitica, Listeria monocytogenes, Bacillus anthracis, Bacillus cereus, Staphylococcus aureus, Clostridium botulinum, Clostridium perfringens, Vibrio vulnificus, Vibrio parahemolyticus. Virus examples are hepatitis A virus, Norwalk virus, rotavirus, and coronavirus. Then parasites examples are Toxoplasma gondii, Cryptosporidia, Giardia species, then Trichinilia spiralis, Taenia solium, and Anisakis species. Then what are the sources? The major sources of biological contaminants in food are animal guts, fecal contamination, and soil and water contaminated by non-treated manure. Cross-contamination is human contamination due to poor personal hygiene. Fecal contamination, failure in infection control, that is illness not reported. Then cross-contamination of food products spread from processing environment due to proper or improper sanitation. Then factors affecting the growth of microorganisms in terms of in foods, that is the temperature. The temperature value for microbial growth depends on the type of microorganisms. For example, psychotrophs such as Listeria monocytogenes grow at refrigeration temperature, that is 4 degrees Celsius, while the thermotrophs can grow at the higher temperatures, that is 45 degrees Celsius. The pH of a product is related to the acidity or alkalinity of the product. The pH of the products affects the growth of bacteria. Most bacteria grow in a pH range between 5 and 9. Then water activity refers to the water available in the product. The more water available in the better bacteria will grow. Table 1 shows the impact of water activity on bacterial spoilage. If water activity is greater than 0.9, bacteria spoilage is easily. Their examples are fresh vegetables, fresh meats, processed meat, milk, fish, etc. If water activity is in between 0.78 to 0.9, susceptible to the spoilage, for example, dry cheeses, flour, cakes, beans, cereals. And if water activity is less than 0.78, then little bacterial spoilage, but mold growth may be there. Then rolled oats, dried fruits, caramels, dehydrated foods, etc. Each of these factors is important for the control of microbial growth. It is the interaction among these factors that determine the growth or control of microorganisms. Hope you all are satisfied with this lecture or session, and this video is co-powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. If you have any query, please mention it in the comment box. Thank you so much.